Hey guys, CJ here. Welcome back to another week and an all-new Hybrid News Now. Super quick plug because we have a ton of ground to cover and a ton of news to talk about today, but our all-new character bios just hit YouTube a couple of hours ago, so I'd love for you guys to go check that out and give me your thoughts. But as I said, a ton of news today, so without further ado, here is the rundown. First up, we'll kick things off with Marvel's Inhumans very likely being delayed. Next, Wolverine reportedly will be in XMen Apocalypse. Then, The Defenders is going to be headed our way a lot sooner than you think. Fourthly, David Ayer speaks out against Suicide Squad reshoot rumors. And finally, we'll wrap up our day with Batman v Superman toppled at the box office. So, let's start with the Inhumans. Inhumans was always going to be an interesting project, especially considering that Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. has kind of taken off running and doing their own thing with the concept, casting some doubt as to where the movie might fit in the larger, semi-cohesive MCU. Well, Collider sat down with Kevin Feige to try and sort out some answers, and what he said might surprise you, so let's take a look at his quote. Since we made our initial Phase 3 announcement, we added Spider-Man, which was a big, joyous coup for us. We added Ant-Man and the Wasp, which was a big, fun continuation of that story for us. Walt Disney Company has announced an Indiana Jones film for right around that same time, so I think it will shuffle off the current date that it's on right now. How far down it shuffles, I'm not sure yet, but it's not a matter of they're already doing that on TV. We're not doing it? No, it's a question of when. Okay, so that's a lot to digest, but in layman's terms, what he's essentially saying is that it's very likely that the movie's going to move away from its November 2019 release date. And this makes a lot of sense to me, seeing as they haven't even cast anyone for the movie yet, but more importantly, having the film released smack dab in the middle of Infinity War when they might not even be involved in that two-parter really threatens to disrupt Marvel Studios' kind of overall overarching narrative. But let me know down below, do you weep for the longer wait for Inhumans, or are you just kind of meh about all of it? Moving on to the next story, Wolverine will be appearing in XMen Apocalypse, according to heroic Hollywood's own El Mayimbe. Mayimbe dropped the scoop on the website this morning and claimed that not only will he be appearing in the film, he'll also be appearing in a new trailer that's set to release at CinemaCon in just a couple of days. This confirms a rumor that's been around since Apocalypse was announced that Logan would appear, but how he'll appear remains to be seen. When we last saw him, he was being salvaged from a watery grave by Mystique, disguised as William Stryker at the end of Days of Future Past. The safe bet would be another cameo in the vein of Jackman's appearance in First Class, but with the way Mayimbe talked about it and the fact that Jackman filmed a lot of scenes incognito, that all kind of points to a larger role to me. And in our third story of the day, the highly anticipated Netflix-Marvel super crossover team-up might be headed our way a lot sooner than expected. With shows like Daredevil and Jessica Jones getting multiple seasons, Luke Cage premiering later this year, and Iron Fist still in the pre-production phase, most assumed that The Defenders would be a long way off. Well, in a pleasant surprise, it looks like that's not the case, as Charlie Cox let some details slip at a Netflix event in Paris. Let's take a look at his quote. What we do know is, at the end of this year, we're going to be making The Defenders, and of course, Daredevil is very much a part of that foursome. I have no idea what the storyline is going to be for that show. I'm very excited to see how those worlds combine, and interested to see tonally how those shows become one. Thank you for that one, Chuck, because whether he knows it or not, we did not know that before today. If Defenders is really filming later this year, given the usual timetable for Marvel's Netflix shows, we may be getting it as early as mid to late next year, probably sometime around August or early September. That also means that Iron Fist will likely begin production in the next month or two to have that wrapped before Defenders production officially kicks off. In our fourth story, and I did tell you this was a supersized episode, right? David Ayer has responded to rumors that we talked about last week that his film Suicide Squad was undergoing reshoots for one purpose and one purpose only: adding humor. Let's just say Ayer kind of put those rumors to bed, especially on the heels of last night's new and very funny Blitz trailer. Suicide Squad reshoots for humor is silly. When a studio loves your movie and asks what else you want, go for it. Hashtag thanks WB, hashtag more action. Now, of course, Ayer would have a vested interest in keeping those rumors hush-hush, but if the studio was really forcing him to add humor, as the rumors suggested, why would Ayer even say anything at all? Chances are he'd just stay quiet. But I'll let you guys decide on that one, and let me know what you think in the comments section below. And in our last story of the day, let's talk about the elephant in the room. That is, of course, Box Office Returns, where the major headline is that in just its third week in theaters, Batman v Superman Dawn of Justice is dead, and Melissa McCarthy's The Boss killed it. Okay, that's an exaggeration. It's not dead, and it's not like it was even blown out of the water. In fact, it was an incredibly narrow margin, with the boss taking the crown with 24,480,000 and BVS coming in second with 24,435,000. But the news here is that the box office dethroning comes a week earlier than predicted, as many expected the DCEU kickoff to keep on trucking right until it hit Disney's Jungle Book next week. With this in mind, its global total now sits at $783.5 million as it stretches ever closer to that reportedly key $800 million mark. But that's where this supersized edition of HNN comes to an end. Thanks for watching, and comment below if you actually stuck around for the entire thing. I'm actually just curious. Don't forget to smash that like if you liked what you saw, subscribe for more great content every single day, and consider supporting us on Patreon for exclusive goodies like access to most of our videos a day early. Signing off, this is CJ, and I'll see you tomorrow.